Today, you are joining us for a special training that's part of our Samsara Quarterly series, where we update you on Samsara's latest product releases and how to use them. We know that there's always a lot going on for you. Thanks for taking the time to be here with us. And one of the reasons why we developed this series was because we heard your feedback that it's helpful to have a training dedicated to the new features and changes that you see in your dashboard. So what can you expect from each Samsara Quarterly is a look back on the past couple of months. You can think of it as a live webinar highlight reel of the What's New page in your dashboard. So this is where you can get new feature information as releases come out. But we also want to hold the space for you every quarter where you can come to a live training and hear directly from experts and also have the chance to ask some questions. So if this is your first time at a quarterly, we are very glad that you're here. I want to make sure that you are aware we're going to go through some material that's a little bit more advanced as it's targeted at more established customers. So if you are newer to Samsara and you're still getting your feet wet, figuring things out, don't worry. Some of this stuff might feel a little bit fast, but it'll all come together as you grow in your Samsara knowledge. Lastly, I just want to put it out there that this is a roadmap-free zone. We are very focused on releases that have already come out and are available to you today, and we're going to go pretty in-depth about how you can set that up and ways that you can use those features, and we're happy to answer any question related to those things. This is just not the place to talk about our product roadmap or what's coming out next. If you have specific questions or feature requests, you can go ahead and submit those in your Samsara dashboard via the feedback button. Okay, I want to make sure to introduce our panel of experts and help you put voices and names to faces. Today we have Chaitna, Margaret, and Sherry on the line, who are part of our product and product marketing teams. And of course, you've been hearing me talk for the past couple minutes. Hello again, my name is Priscilla. We're very glad that you're here with us. So today our training will focus on workflows, coaching tools and workflows for effective manager-led coaching, and also ways that you can build workflows that improve driver and manager efficiency. And as always, we'll have some announcements and a live Q&A at the end with our experts. Just to refresh your memory of kind of frequently asked questions that we see, yes, you will get a recording of the session in a follow-up email after the training is over. I'll also send out the slides that you're looking at right now so you have them. They'll have links to the different resources so you can take a look at your own time, get a deeper view into some of the features, maybe answer some questions that you weren't able to kind of think of in time to get answered live in our webinar today. But we do have a live Q&A. So via chat, you can send in your questions at any time, and our seller support and customer success teams are on the line ready to answer those questions. You should see the Q&A box on your screen. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that for you so you know where to send in your questions. So if you have a question, just type it in and hit send. The team will answer everything that they can, and we'll follow up on anything that we're unable to get to or help out with live during the webinar. And I'm happy to introduce the 5 people on the line today helping answer your questions: Beth, Hannah, Catherine, Dion, and Terrence. They will be taking care of you today. And just a point of clarification, the live Q&A at the very end will be kind of drawing major themes that we're seeing from the questions that you send in via chat to have our experts kind of address those live in the webinar. Okay, to kick us off, Samsara has a mission of improving the efficiency, safety, and sustainability of the operations that power our economy. For the past few years, we've been really focused on driving innovation in the areas of real-time data, artificial intelligence, and open APIs. And we have a really large team dedicated to research and development. And of course, your favorite thing, customer support. Our teams read every single feedback submission that we get from you. Like I mentioned before, if you have kind of feedback on our new features that you want or have questions about our product roadmap, please send those in via the feedback button in your dashboard. And you guys inspire our new features every day. So thank you for participating in that way. Today, Samsara has grown to serve over 20,000 organizations worldwide across a variety of industries in both the public and private sectors. And we really believe that this is a partnership. So on behalf of the Samsara team, I want to thank you for choosing Samsara, trusting us with your business, and partnering with us with feedback so that we can build the products that are actually useful for you. Okay, so let's talk about workflows. If you were able to join last time for the last quarterly, you might remember that we talked about tools to help you manage a distributed operation where people might be working from different places but need to collaborate in order to work efficiently. Today, we're going to expand on that same idea. I know a lot of you probably decided to purchase Samsara because you wanted that real-time visibility and data into your operations. So now that you have access to that data, the question kind of is, how do you use it? How can you use the tools that Samsara provides to access the right data at the right moment so that you can take action? That is what we're going to talk about today. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Kaitna and Margaret to share about Samsara's coaching tools and workflows and how they can enable effective manager-led coaching.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaitna. I'm on the product marketing team. And as we just talked about, today we'll be diving into workflows and how you can really access the right data at the right moment. So I'll be going through what that means from the safety perspective so you can leverage them for coaching. Samsara has built in new coaching tools and workflows within the dashboard to really help make manager-led coaching with drivers much more effective. So let's first dive into how some of our Samsara's customers have really used the visibility that they get from the Samsara AI Dashcam to create more robust coaching conversations. The customers that we'll walk through today, they're all top fleet award winners, which honor industry-leading fleets that really demonstrate outstanding safety and community impact. So starting off with GP Transco. GP Transco is a trucking and logistics company headquartered outside of Chicago with around 400 drivers operating across the lower 48 states and Canada. The business has built a culture centered on safety and the driver experience, relying on Samsara to help make a quantifiable, positive impact on their drivers day-to-day. So they use Samsara AI Dashcam footage to really help personalize their coaching. And I just wanted to read a quote from Maria, the VP of Safety and HR. She says that if I had to pinpoint one thing that has been the most effective with driver training, it would have to be the dashcam footage. Numerous times I've had drivers say, wow, I need to stop doing this. We've seen real changes in those drivers, and this is a huge contribution from Samsara. So really, by providing those aha moments to drivers who might otherwise be unaware of their unsafe behaviors, through the footage that they've been seeing, GP Transco, they've been able to reduce speeding across their fleet by 66%, reduce tailgating by 50%, and they've seen a 34% decrease in cell phone usage among their drivers, really all from coaching. And I wanted to go through this next customer, Sprint Waste. So they're a waste transportation and container rental company that supports industrial and construction industries across the Gulf Coast. Their president, Dave Nelson, has overseen significant safety improvements and partnered with Samsara to implement dash cams for the first time, getting buy-in successfully from more than 300 drivers and 60 owner-operators that they work with. So here he says that the videos are of our own trucks and our own drivers. People like seeing themselves, which is why Samsara has been such a powerful tool for coaching. So clearly Sprint Waste uses the dash cam footage in creative ways. They've been showing videos at their safety meetings or in company update emails with examples of defensive driving and positive recognition. So through coaching using this footage, they've seen a 50% increase in miles per safety incident, meaning that their incidents, they're getting fewer on the road, which is pretty incredible. And finally, ArcBest's less than truckload carrier, ABF Freight, and its fleet of nearly 7,000 drivers, they use Samsara AI Dashcams to get visibility into driver behavior. They use video-based coaching to review incidents and build trust through conversations with the driver. So Josh Loven, the Director of Safety and Security, He says that the footage from Samsara dash cams really paints the picture. Drivers can observe from a different perspective, and managers can see exactly what the driver was facing. That level of detail makes all of the difference. And, through coaching with the dash cam footage, they've seen a 13% decrease in preventable road accidents, which is a significant improvement for their organization, considering the size of their fleet. So clearly we've seen results from some of our top customers. But of course, these customers started and built their coaching program incrementally. And some of you may not even have a coaching program in place, and that's totally okay. But I'm just curious to know, what results are most important to you when coaching with Samsara? Is it a reduction in insurance premiums, a decrease in safety events, reduction in incident-related expenses, or even a decrease in speeding? So we have a couple options here. I'm going to take a couple of seconds for all of you to fill out the poll. Great. I'm going to go ahead and share results. Yep. So it looks like our top winner is decrease in safety events, followed by a reduction in incident-related expenses. And, a lot of you said that I wish there was an all of the above. I completely agree. And, all of these are pretty much related to each other. When you have a decrease in safety events, you do get a reduction in incident-related expenses, and ultimately you're reducing your insurance premiums too. So it's really great to see that a lot of us are sort of thinking similarly with what we want out of a coaching program. So, just wanted to say, we just saw some of the results that some of our customers have seen from using dash cam footage to coach drivers. So the visibility that they're getting from our AI dash cams, they're really allowing them to get on the same page as drivers faster during coaching conversations, which allows their drivers to get bought into different behavior changes when driving. But I do want to point out that high definition video, it's really only the foundation and only the beginning for these coaching conversations. While it's important to have dash cam footage as a means of visibility to drivers, when coaching, it's just as important to find what moments need coaching and when. Fleet managers are battling different priorities, and they have limited bandwidth to review all of the footage coming in. It's crucial to find the coachable moments and then coach those moments in a timely manner, so then you can really increase the effectiveness of coaching. So we're excited to announce that Samsara has built new coaching workflows within the dashboard to help make these coaching conversations even more effective, providing more value beyond visibility alone. So let's now dive into these updates. So we've created these new coaching features with 3 goals in mind. The first is to really streamline the incident review so you can triage events and conduct high-level review easily. The second is to automate a lot of the assignment process so that safety coaches and managers don't have to spend as much time assigning coaches for events and assigning coaches to specific drivers. And then the third is to really streamline the actual coaching sessions. And we did that by focusing on repeated behaviors. So when a driver, for example, say that they have 8 distracted driving events in 1 week, a coach can just focus the conversation on that repeated behavior all at once. So you're not clicking through multiple events of the same behavior. So let's now actually jump into a demo of what all of these new features look like in the Samsara dashboard, given by Margaret, our product manager for coaching.
Hi everyone, I'm Margaret and I'm going to be demoing our new coaching workflow today. So here you can see the new coaching page with our list of drivers, their safety score, and the behaviors that they need to be coached on. Coaches can also see the last time the driver was coached and notice their assigned coach here. When a safety manager is ready to start that coaching conversation, they would just hover over the row of the driver and click this blue coach button. This is now going to enter that coach into this new coaching session. What you'll notice here is that we're aggregating all the videos that share the same behavior type onto one page. So here's a harsh brake, and this driver has 3 harsh brake videos that are in the coaching queue. So the coach can quickly review the videos, toggle between the videos, add notes specifically about their conversations around harsh braking, and then mark the behavior as coached. This one button will change the coaching status of all events in this behavior to coached. So it just makes it a little bit faster and more efficient. The coach can continue and will be brought kind of to the next behavior in the queue as they go through. And at the end, they'll be able to generate a coaching summary with all the information of the events that have just been coached during this session. And now you can see our coaching summary. This is showing you all the behaviors that were coached, as well as thumbnail images that you can hover over and play the video. The coach can also add session notes. These would be great for notes about the overall conversation and any next steps or follow-ups. And then the coach can add signatures by typing in their name and the driver's name and complete that session, and it's actually going to save it as kind of an e-signature. These coaching summaries are always visible and easily searchable on the completed tab of the coaching page. So on this completing tab, you're going to be able to see all the sessions that have just completed. Another quick change to mention, along with our major overhaul of coaching, we've made a slight tweak to our safety inbox folders to streamline our customers' workflow. So now we have a whole dedicated folder just for needs review events. Once those are put into a needs coaching status, those would be kind of moved over to the all tab just to keep this really clear of, these videos need action. We also have an unassigned tab for events without drivers. And then of course, we're keeping dismissed and starred. One other note to mention, if a customer doesn't want to use the safety inbox as much anymore and wants events to go straight to their coaching page, they can now configure that in the settings using this automatically add to coaching settings option. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Awesome. So I know that was a lot. We just watched a demo of what these features all look like in action. Like Margaret mentioned, these features are all customizable to what is best for your organization. So let's dig into each of these features individually and walk through them so you can determine which ones are really best for your fleet. So here on the screen, we have Streamline Incident Review. So we've really redesigned the safety inbox to be much more intuitive when going through your event review. And as a reminder, you can get to this by clicking on the safety in the navigation on the left and then clicking on the safety inbox. So when you're here in the safety inbox, the video will automatically play as a preview for about 5 seconds as you hover through them. And in many cases, you can determine just really at a quick glance whether the event should be dismissed or whether it needs coaching. On the right, we have the drop-down automatically set at needs review, and there's a folder for that even at the top, as Margaret pointed out. So that's the default tab when you visit the safety inbox. And once you've identified an event as needing coaching, you can also set that event to needs coaching status, which will automatically route to the coaching hub. And then, of course, we still have dismissed and starred events. No change there. And you can learn more in the knowledge base that we have as well. So the next feature, here's our new coaching hub. So from the coaching page, you can really determine which drivers need to be coached, and you can start a guided conversation using the coaching sessions. So this page here, it really serves as your hub for all things coaching, where you can see all drivers with events that require coaching and even their corresponding safety score. You can filter, sort, and search by the driver, or maybe you want to search by the coach or even the score, and you can do much more. You can also view when the last time a driver was coached, so then that can sort of help with your prioritization effectively. And as you saw in Margaret's demo, you can now auto-assign coaches to drivers individually or by tag. And so you'll be able to find that in your safety settings. You can also auto-assign. I just want to make sure you guys can see my slides. All right, hopefully you're able to see this now. Perfect. So I'm just going to start over on this slide. So automating the driver and coaching assignment. So as you saw in Margaret's demo, we can actually now auto-assign coaches to drivers individually or by tag. And you'll be able to set this up in your safety settings. And what's actually great is that you can also auto-assign these drivers using the driver app, or if you have camera ID switched on, and much more. This will allow you to reduce admin work and save time. So when a coachable event occurs, that coach will automatically be assigned to the driver to the event, and then they'll actually be notified appropriately. So really just saving a lot of time there when an event happens. And finally, as Margaret mentioned, one of the last enhancements we've made is around coaching on repeated behaviors. From the coaching page that I just showed you previously, you can now open a coaching session for a specific driver, and you can see all of the behaviors that they've done that have been marked for coaching. So these behaviors are safety events. So as an example, some of the behaviors could be speeding or distracted driving and much more. And so now you're actually going to be coaching by behavior rather than the individual event type. Really, this is going to save you a lot of time, so you're not clicking through like 10 distracted driving events for the same driver. Once you have the coaching conversation with the driver, you can really just mark the tab as coached, which will change all of those events in that specific behavior, so all of the distracted driving events to already coached after you've done that. And so this new behavior-based type of coaching, it's not only going to save you time, but it's really going to help you get a lot more tailored to the driver that you're coaching. And you can also use the safety tips to help guide the conversation. Obviously, you can take notes there as well, and then both the coach and the driver can sign off saying this coaching session occurred. So we're nearing the end of the safety portion, and I wanted to just do a quick recap. We first met some customers who have seen some impactful results to their business from coaching purely from just a visibility perspective from the dashboard. Then we went into how you can build on top of that visibility with the new coaching workflows at Samsara, so you can really gain the results that you're looking for out of coaching. And really this all just comes in time as April is around the corner and it's Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Distracted driving can not only increase accident frequency and costs, but it can really put your driver's safety at risk. And unfortunately, there are over 1 million collisions that occur annually due to distracted driving, costing about $8.9 billion in accident-related costs. But fortunately, a lot of this behavior can be combated through effective coaching with drivers. So now that we learned about workflows that can help managers coach driver safety more effectively, I'm going to turn it over to Sherry, who's going to walk us through how workflows can help drivers become much more efficient on the road. And as a reminder, you can submit questions in the Q&A box on your screen. Take it away, Sherry.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaitna. It's so exciting to see how our customers have been using workflows to help their drivers be more safe on the road while saving time for their teams. The focus of this next section is going to be about how you can apply workflows and build workflows that help you improve your driver's efficiency as well as your own efficiency. And really, what we're going to be talking about today is how you can customize the driver app so that they can receive the right information at the right time. If you aren't already using our driver app, it's really a great tool that helps drivers work safer, smarter, and happier. It's an all-in-one app where drivers can access their hours of service, perform DVIRs, see upcoming routes, capture documents from the field, and use two-way messaging to make sure that they are constantly in contact with dispatch. It's available on any iOS or Android device, and it's also available you can use your Wi-Fi hotspot that's built into your VG to ensure that drivers always have connectivity to power the app. The best way to take advantage of the features that are in the driver app is to make sure that drivers have an up-to-date driver app version. So you'll want to go to our KB to just make sure that you can check which driver app version we are currently on, and that way you can make sure that your drivers have access to the latest features. So when it comes to building a great driver experience, there are a couple of things to keep in mind to make sure that you can build workflows that are efficient and effective. So the first is just customizing the driver app and customizing the look and feel to make sure that information is presented in a way that's easy to understand and digestible for drivers. The second is to really take advantage of step-by-step mobile workflows and to create a more guided experience for your drivers. And lastly, when you think about it, one of the most powerful use cases for workflows is to help drivers and administrators streamline and simplify compliance management. We know that compliance can be a very complex topic, and if you can apply workflows to your compliance, it will help your drivers and you save a ton of time. So let's talk about how you can First, customize the driver app for your drivers. What we're really going to look at today is App Designer, and this is a tool that you can use to control which features appear in the driver app and really define the behavior of those features. The way that you're going to access App Designer is by going into your settings section, and here you can pick which tiles are viewable by drivers in their driver app. You can select, you can add or remove functionality from specific actions. So for example, you can make sure that walk around photos are required for DVIRs. And once you publish those changes will take effect in the driver app in real time. Something that's pretty exciting that we added in just the past few weeks is the ability to create custom app tiles. And what this does is it allows you to bring third-party apps and websites right into the home screen of the Samsara driver app. This just makes it much easier for drivers to have a one-stop shop to be able to access any information that you want to present in front of them. So for example, you might want to make sure that they can access the homepage of your company intranet, or maybe you want to add a link to an email client. You can even add in a link so that drivers can access third-party apps and have those apps open up directly from the Samsara driver app. Let's take a look at how you can actually do this in your dashboard.
To access App Designer, you're going to want to go to your settings page and look for the driver apps section. Then navigate to the Features tab. Here you can customize the look and feel of your driver app. To add a custom tile, just click Add Tile, choose a name for your tile, and add in the URL. For example, you might want to add in the URL for your company website. You can also add in more customized special types of tiles called deep links. So the process is the same here. You're going to want to add another tile, name it something that you want. In this case, you might want to add in a training video link. Here, a deep link is a special type of link that will allow your driver to open up a native third-party application. To find this link, you're going to want to contact your app developer to see if they support deep links. Once you add the deep link, you can customize the tile by creating it and adding in any sort of color that you want. Once you publish changes, these changes will be live for your drivers immediately. Drivers can access the tiles right on the driver app, and as you continue to add tiles, the tiles will be added to the right of everything that is already in the driver app. Drivers can use the tiles to open up your homepage that you just added, and they can use the tiles to access any third-party apps that you want to provide to them. So in this case, I had added a native link to training videos, and now you'll see my driver can open that up right in their YouTube app. Makes it a lot more streamlined and easy to use for your drivers.
Awesome. So now we just covered how you can customize the look and feel of the driver app for your drivers and make it easier for them to access information. Let's talk about how you can guide your drivers through their day-to-day by using mobile workflows. So let's talk now about Workflow Builder. This is, again, accessible via the settings section of your dashboard. What Workflow Builder really allows you to do is to create guided workflows so that drivers can minimize guesswork associated with any of their tasks. This just ensures that they're able to perform the right tasks at the right times and comply with any fleet policies that you set. The way that the Workflow Builder works is that you can define different tasks for drivers to complete. So those include tasks ranging from logging hours of service to performing vehicle inspections to creating custom documents. Once you decide what sort of tasks you want your drivers to complete, you can drag and drop each task into the order you want and make steps optional or required. Once you're finished, you can publish workflows to drivers instantly, and they will be able to access these workflows right in their driver app. All of this just ensures that drivers are presented with a guided experience that walks them through everything that they need to do, and again, just helps them understand what they need to do at any given time. There are a couple of different types of triggers for workflows. And when we first introduced Workflow Builder, we started out with start of day workflows. So these types of workflows are triggered as soon as a driver signs in to their driver app. And so you can imagine the types of tasks that you want your drivers to perform at the start of a shift or at the start of their day. That includes things like maybe performing a pre-trip vehicle inspection, completing a pre-trip trailer inspection, or let's say you want them to submit a cargo damage report and you want them to complete a custom document. Whatever task you want to set at the beginning of the day, you can use Workflow Builder to create that task list. Something that's pretty exciting that we added just recently is the ability to create workflows that are triggered based on stop arrivals. So if you're using our routing feature, this is a great way to create workflows that are associated with a route stop. The concept really is the same here. You're going to be able to create and customize workflows. It's just that the trigger of these workflows is different. So this will happen once your driver arrives at a route stop. The arrival can be determined based on whether or not they break the geofence of a route stop or whether they manually arrive at a route stop. It all kind of depends on how you have configured route stop arrivals to work for your fleet. Now, let's take a look at how you can access Workflow Builder in your dashboard.
You can use Workflow Builder to create a start of day workflow. You can choose from a template that Samsara provides for sign-in, or you can create your own. In this case, let's go with a template that Samsara provided. We've outlined a couple of common steps that drivers might want to take as they sign in. When you go to this screen, you'll see the ability to customize each step as you see fit. For example, you might want to delete a step. You can also make any steps required. This means that drivers won't be able to skip past a step when they're accessing the workflow. Finally, you can add all sorts of different types of tasks. One really common type of task is to add in a custom document that drivers access at the beginning of their day. So for example, I might want to have my drivers create a cargo damage report as they walk around and inspect their cargo before they head out for the day. Once I'm finished with the workflow, all I have to do is press Publish and select which drivers I want to make this available to. I can select drivers on an individual basis or select groups of drivers. When it comes to creating other types of workflows, you can also create workflows that are triggered by when a driver arrives at a route stop. The workflow creation process is very similar to what we just walked through, so I'm not going to walk through that today, but instead, let's skip over and see what this looks like from the driver's point of view. So we'll take a quick look at what this looks like in the driver app. For the start of day workflow, the start of day workflow will be triggered once the driver signs in. So once my driver signs in, you'll see that the workflow will guide the driver step by step through all of the different tasks that you just designed. I'm adding trailers, I am creating inspections, and I'm checking to see whether or not I have any logs that need to be certified. These are all steps that you as an administrator can define for drivers. You'll note that the step-by-step walkthrough makes it really easy for drivers to complete the right task at the right time. We can even see that the driver will have the ability to create that cargo damage report, and the driver app will guide them right to the section of the app that they need to access in order to complete the task. So you'll see that my driver is able to access everything all in one place, minimize the errors that they have at the start of their day or once they arrive at a stop, and go about their day with full confidence that they have completed everything that you've asked them to do.
So Workflow Builder and App Designer are both features that have a lot of flexibility. And so what we really encourage you to do is to just test this out for your own fleet. When it comes to just testing things out, I love this quote from Andy Figueroa, Director of Quality Assurance at TCI Transportation. He was able to set up and test a new form in under 10 minutes. The platform is so intuitive that it doesn't take any expertise to create the customizations that they need to be successful. So I would really encourage you to take a look at your fleet operations. Think about what types of workflows you want to create for your drivers, and take 10 minutes and just set up a workflow to try for yourself. The great thing about App Designer and Workflow Builder is that they're both very flexible, so you can experiment with different types of designs and different types of workflows to make sure that you are getting something that works for your drivers and for your fleet. Now, let's talk about how you can bring this all together and use workflows to simplify compliance management for your drivers as well as your administrators. We know that compliance management can be pretty complicated, and one of the just main tasks is ensuring that drivers have access to the right rule sets. In order to do this, we've actually made a couple of different updates, and now you can access a lot of different types of rule sets in the Samsara dashboard. So recently, we have announced that we can let drivers claim the 16-hour short haul exemption or the big day exemption. You are also now able to assign state-specific rule sets to specific drivers. This is more powerful if you have drivers that are operating or based in different states. What this means is now you can support, let's say, like the Texas rule set to drivers who are based in Texas and a California state rule set to drivers who are based in California, and you're going to be able to support both of those state rule sets in your fleet. And finally, if you do have drivers who are based in California, you can now configure the 5-hour meal break for your drivers. This just changes the driver app so that the driver app counts down to the next meal break and helps them keep track of the hours that they have remaining. I'm not going to go through all of these different rule sets, but the way that you can access this is to check out our KB to figure out how you can visit the compliance section of your dashboard to configure these rule sets for your fleet. And finally, when it comes to your driver's workflows around roadside inspections, what we want to do is make sure that they have full confidence whenever they are approaching a roadside inspection. We recently added the ability for drivers to enter a temporary personal identification number. This ensures that when drivers are stopped for a roadside inspection, they can enter a PIN and it will lock the screen so that the driver app only shows the inspection officer the information that the officer needs to see in order to perform that inspection. So the driver app will only show hours of service related information. It won't let the inspection officer access things like messages or routes or anything else. This just makes it so that drivers can really approach those roadside inspections with confidence and have confidence that their sensitive and secure information is being protected. And with that, I'll turn things over to Priscilla to take us through the home stretch.
Thank you, Sherry. All right, so we've heard a lot from Kina, Margaret, and Sherry about workflows and how you can use Samsara tools to access the right data at the right moment in order to take action. With coaching, we're seeing that video is working, right? A lot of the most successful operations have seen tremendous improvements in safety by using the videos and safety event data that their AI dash cams are capturing. But having a streamlined coaching workflow can take it to the next level. And we hope that you try a couple new things out in April to recognize Distracted Driving Month. And shifting gears, when we were talking about managing workflows for drivers, both drivers and the back office can really become more efficient when the workflow is defined. You figure out what is really going to work for your operation, customizing the driver app with App Designer, creating your own workflows with Workflow Builder, either for the start of a driver's day or for the stops along the route during their day. It's super powerful stuff. We're getting lots of questions on that, and we'll be able to address that in live Q&A coming up. Again, today was designed to be a highlight reel of new releases that have come out already. If you want to learn more and check out the other features that we've released that we just didn't have time to talk about today, head to the What's New section in your Samsara dashboard. And I know we've gone through a lot of information. I know you have lots of questions. So let's kick it off to the live Q&A. Before we do that, a big thank you again to our support and customer success teams. They have been answering your questions live on chat, and if you keep sending those in, we'll answer as many as we can get to while we are still on the line. All right, moving into our live Q&A. I've been reading through some of your questions and trying to consolidate a couple different themes that I'm seeing come through. So the first question is for Kaitna. we're getting a lot of questions about how to get driver buy-in for dash cams. Maybe drivers are feeling that it might feel kind of micromanagey, or like they're being watched or bullied. What have you seen, and what are kind of things that fleets have used to address these questions from drivers?
Absolutely. We hear this concern a lot from companies who are really just brand new to dash cams. So I'll just quickly walk through a couple of best practices that we've seen with our customers and that we've helped them do. So, number one, before deploying any hardware, hold a Q&A session with drivers. This allows you to create an open forum where drivers can really feel comfortable asking any questions, they can raise concerns, and you can really use it as an opportunity to explain your company's safety goals and policies so that drivers can really understand where the change is coming from. We've also seen a lot of our champions and executive teams at our customers will actually install their own dash cams in their own personal cars. And that really helps kind of build that buy-in with the drivers that, okay, like my leader is doing this, clearly there's some sort of value here. I think the second piece is, dash cams are really meant for driver protection and safety. And you can really dispel these misunderstandings by explaining how safety events are detected and how the footage can actually be accessed. You can be clear about who can access the footage as well. So, only certain administrators in the company can access footage. Video is only uploaded when there is a safety event that occurs, and it'll only do 5 seconds before, 5 seconds after. Or, of course, if there is a request to retrieve extra footage for any type of insurance purposes or an incident investigation. But really, that's really it. And, of course, only the administrators can access that footage. The third piece is to, really make sure you can recognize and reward the moments when dash cams capture footage of drivers that actually respond appropriately. So maybe they're braking to avoid a collision when they're getting cut off. You can always send out an email with examples of excellent defensive driving. And you can even create rewards programs around this to really help drivers feel that community. And then finally, I think the last piece here, successfully exonerating drivers is really the most powerful way to get skeptical drivers in support of dash cams. So show real exoneration footage. If you have an example of maybe a near miss or a not at fault collision that was captured during a pilot, share that footage with all of your drivers. That really is the biggest tool for driver buy-in, because drivers can see that, oh, this dash cam footage actually can protect me because it would have been a he or she incident otherwise. And so that's really the most powerful tool for that driver buy-in. Of course, we have other best practices. That was just a couple I wanted to list out here.
Yeah, thanks so much, Keetna. I think some people are chiming in the chat about how to get driver buy-in and what they've seen was really effective. And one of the most effective ways actually is to show that dashcam footage can exonerate them. So one of the examples that came through in chat with somebody on the line was, one of the drivers got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt, and they were able to show them video footage that showed that the driver did have a seatbelt on to exonerate that driver, remove that ticket. And so there are a lot of examples of this where, maybe you start trialing cameras and you're able to capture something that would have resulted in a fine or some other negative effect on the driver's record or something like that. And once drivers start to see the benefits that they can gain from having dash cams, just reinforcing that it's really to help them. It's not to watch them, to micromanage them. It's really to give them an extra piece of information in case there are things that happen on the road that are being kind of like wrongly put on them. Great question. Another kind of big theme we're seeing here is what tools are available to coach on speeding. I know that speeding has risen probably a lot during COVID because the roads were a lot more clear before. So what tools are available to coach on this very important safety aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have a couple of different tools. The first piece I wanted to point out is that we have in-cab speeding alerts that will alert drivers if they're above a certain speed directly in the cab. So really they can adjust behavior in real time out on the road. And we've seen, minimizing that time from the event, so in this case, speeding, to adjusting behavior. So is really crucial, and we can definitely get there through in-cab speeding alerts. So that's one way that we can really coach proactively before an event occurs. We also offer speeding reports to help you identify instances of speeding. You can coach drivers on speeding and really help you tailor speeding definitions and enforceability to the needs of your organization. We know that every fleet operates differently. Different fleets have different tolerances for speeding definitions and what is considered speeding. So these reports kind of offer you that customizability to help tailor your coaching with speeding appropriately. And these reports are available. They're at different levels of detail. So we have the trip level, which is the most specific report and helps you see details like a speeding graph or trip locations that potentially may have contributed to speeding in the moment during that specific trip. We also have a driver or a vehicle-specific speeding report that helps you, be able to kind of maybe gauge how certain vehicles or parts of your fleet are doing compared to others. And then we also have a company-wide speeding report that can really help you track towards any holistic goals that you may have for your organization. Of course, we'll continue to iterate on these features, so you'll see more updates to help coach on speeding in the future.
Awesome. I know we are coming up at the end of our time here. I want to address some of the questions related to driver workflows and also hours of service. So Sherry, I'm going to kind of consolidate some of these questions for you here. There are a lot of questions about App Designer. How many tiles can you have total? Are you still able to access the tiles that you have removed? Let's start there.
Yeah, the great thing about App Designer is it's super flexible. So as you keep adding tiles, tiles will just continue to be added to the driver app, and they'll continue going out to the right. There is no limit to the number of tiles that you can add. So you could add like 15 if you wanted. It's all a question of just balancing usability for your drivers. That's kind of like a judgment call for you. I'm sorry, Priscilla, and what was like the second part of your question? Can you access apps that have been deleted? Is that right?
Right, that's right.
So once you remove a tile from the driver app, the driver will no longer be able to access that. However, you can add that tile back at any time. With App Designer, you can add or remove tiles right from the settings section of your dashboard, and those changes are reflected immediately in the driver app. So if you accidentally delete a tile, it should just take you a couple of seconds to add that tile back in.
Awesome. Here's a great question about the driver app. Somebody was talking about how they don't use hours of service, and so they don't have kind of a requirement to use the driver app. They're interested in understanding how the driver app can be beneficial for their operation still.
That is a fantastic question. I love it. You could think about the driver app as a tool that assists your drivers throughout their day-to-day. The great thing is that with App Designer, you can actually toggle off the Hours of Service tab so that drivers won't receive those notifications related to the hours. You can use it to present them any other information that you want them to have as they're going throughout their day. So let's say you want to assign different routes to them. Your drivers are going to be able to use the driver app to see what upcoming jobs you have. Let's say you want to go paperless, and you want your driver to use a mobile device to capture documents in the field. Like let's say you want them to fill out an inspection form or to capture an e-signature from a customer. You can use the driver app to do that. And very importantly, you can use the driver app to message your drivers. So you can send messages back and forth, make sure that they are always connected to dispatch. It's really a tool to just make sure that you have an open line of communication with your drivers and that they can use their mobile device to be productive. Hours of service is part of a driver's day for many of our customers, but for many customers, hours of service isn't really part of their driver's day. You can just use your driver app to just make sure that drivers have information they need to stay productive and safe. That's
great. I have a question here on managing hours of service. there's kind of this question about how to coach drivers on log violations. I know that we spent a lot of our time today talking about coaching related to driving safety, but what about this other aspect of remaining compliant and making sure that the logs are all in order?
I'd say that with the driver app, we present drivers with visibility into their logs, and we also help them highlight different types of violations. I would say in order to coach drivers to try to avoid violations, that should probably be something that you and your driver should have a conversation about. The driver app certainly has prompts that can help drivers understand when they have violations, but I think that the best way to coach drivers to avoid violations is a combination of both technology as well as good old-fashioned conversations with their managers.
Great. I know we have a couple minutes left, so I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of a couple upcoming trainings that are available. Again, these trainings are all free. I want to highlight that next week we are having a training on what the Canadian ELD mandate means for your fleet. So whether or not you know you're already impacted by the Canadian ELD mandate going into effect in June, or maybe you're not sure, just come. You can learn more so that you make sure you cover all of your bases. I'll drop the registration link in the follow-up email so you guys can take a look at that and register if you feel that you are interested. As a reminder, Samsara is fully supporting Canadian ELD, and we've submitted our solution for certification. We'll be holding a training in May, and there will be additional resources available in the coming weeks for those of you who are itching to get ready for that. Now, you hear us talking about getting feedback, giving feedback a lot, and our training webinars are no exception. And we would really love to hear your feedback on this webinar. Anyone on the line, if you have a smart device, please take a moment, open up that camera app, hold it up to this QR code. A link will pop up on your screen. I'll leave this slide up here for you so you can go ahead and scan that. Go ahead and fill out our feedback survey right now. It'll be really quick, and it's super helpful for us so that we can make this experience really valuable and useful for you going forward. While you're doing that, a couple more announcements. If you've submitted a question via chat and haven't received a response yet, don't worry. We'll follow up with you regarding your question after the webinar. I also want to remind you that we'll be sending out an email later today. You'll get a recording of today's training, a PDF handout of the slides that you saw today, and some of the registration links and other related resources I'll also put in that email for you. As we finalize some dates for the additional upcoming training webinars, we'll send out other emails with those registration links too, so keep an eye out for those. And that's it from us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for providing feedback and providing just that valuable information so that we can make this a good experience for you and keep improving. I hope you have a good rest of your day and hope to see you again soon.